Zoom, zoom, like a race car flight, but it ain't a car, it's a super fast tortoise going the speed of light, breaking all the
Even in space, a group of tortoises is called a creep. Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and trends that bend the senses. Let's get up, it's senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with Super Fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Super Fast Tortoise Morning Coffee Show.
Yeah. Look, my camera didn't switch. How did
Let's see if it makes it through the transitions.
right? Look.
No premature celebrations.
I got a PSA for everybody. If you own one of these, you're probably over 40 years old.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess it makes me young because I don't.
I used to own one of those.
For people who don't know what those are blank CDs or blank DVDs that you can burn things onto when your computer actually had a disk drive.
Disk drive.
I had to show that because I still burn CDs for my own personal collection. I got to state that because, that's important.
You don't want anybody assuming you're a pirate?
Don't want to be a pirate.
I guess I'm young because I don't own one of those.
Yeah.
Dude, you're still hooked up on 8-tracks.
Maybe.
I got a record player in the studio.
Nice.
That's
go
seems,
vinyl.
8-track
Let's go
seems
vinyl.
even for Hillbilly.
That's right.
Let's go vinyl.
Because I've only ever seen a handful of them ever.
Nothing's good like the sound of some vinyl, bro.
That's right. Coogee Dude. If you know Coogee Dude, I think you might have met him once at one time in your life. He
Yeah.
owns 8-tracks. He owns reel-to-reels. He owns records. He owns CDs. He owns cassettes. He is an audiophile.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But hey, let's get everybody introduced. Yes, everybody, welcome to the Morning Coffee Show. Hope you got your coffee favorite libation ready to go. Now first, he's got Diet Coke. Now, to my right, we have Time to Rock.
We got the TheoneRAYman.
TheoneRAYman.
I am here. We are live and in living color.
That's right, in living color. And next to Rayman, on the far right, we have
MTG HILLBILLY.
Dang, Blaggett.
That's right. And look, he's not just a floating head today.
Nah, decided to wear red instead of green this time.
Uh-huh.
I saw two different people yesterday on Reddit, on TMNT posts, saying Dag Blaggett.
Nice.
Hey, it gets around.
It's getting around, baby.
It gets around.
Funny, my video started. One of my previous videos just started playing randomly on my phone. I'm like, what?
And that word has gotten around. Even one of my pastors says it now.
There you go.
And it's pretty crazy how that word just gets around. It's a fun word to say, but dag blaggett, it came from me.
There you go.
Jack Chansey says Bay Area. I don't think any of us are near the Bay Area.
Bay Area.
No.
Yeah, but anyways, below me in the electric picture down there, we have
The Rhinoblitz.
That's right.
What's up, party people?
Party people, Get down.
Rayman said live and live in color like that. Yeah. Welcome
Yeah.
to the show. It's a good one for us today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I'm excited for Turtles. I'm excited for Turtles. I'm like that kid on the news a long time ago. I like Turtles.
It's Christmas in July.
That's right. And next to Rhino in the middle, blue, we got
Lone Wolf.
hey.
What's up, everyone?
Oh, for a moment there, I probably thought you fell asleep.
I was about to say, did he fall back asleep?
Or did he pull a mugenfool where he's like leaves and doesn't tell anybody, and he comes back? I'm back.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
Well,
I
hopefully
hear that, my friend. I hear that.
that's gonna be me tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably gonna be a chat and chill day on the stream because I gotta wake up early and go to an appointment and stay awake. Well, anyways, then we gotta introduce the man in the coat, the one in glasses, the one lacking hair. Yes, and everybody waits for this.
Tibalts Apprentice wins. Flawless victory.
Hey, I got hair. It's just all on my back now. You migrated, right?
Right. I got hair. See, I got hair too.
It's starting to come back. I gotta shave again.
I got to get mine shaved back off. It's getting too hot.
I can't stand hair anymore. I'd shave it. I just shave it. Can't stand it.
Can't check us. It's the Balt and his bunt armor coat.
That's right.
Oh yeah, Cane Checker's here, everybody. Cane Checker.
How's it going, James?
Yeah, he's got his own intro too.
James Willis, Cane Shaker. I shake my cane at the clouds with my fury.
Yeah.
Nice.
Every time I hear it, I just think of old Abe Simpson.
Yeah.
Old man yells at clouds.
We got Lulu in the house. Hello, Lulu.
Hey,
And
Lulu.
we got Oscar. Oscar, what's up?
Oscar.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite Muppets on the Sesame Street was Oscar the Grouch.
I loved Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah. So good. So good.
Spirit animal.
Right. And yesterday or the night before, we watched the new episode of The Muppet Show that was rebooted. It was interesting. It was good. It was not horrible. Like being a Seth Rogen production, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like.
I wondered what that was, whether that was going to be noticeable.
You ever been to Universal Studios?
No.
And been to the Muppet Show 3D show there?
Mhm.
They throw pie in your face in the 3D show, and it actually feels like you get with him with a pie in the face.
Woo! And HILLBILLY, thank you for being a member of the channel for 17 months.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm 1 month behind you on your membership.
I will be a member soon.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, my members and channel subscribers, for growing the channel and doing what you do. We appreciate it a lot because you do keep everything going. Whoa. So liking the video, sharing the video, commenting, chatting with us, you make the whole world go round. You make episodes like this possible. And with that, we're going to get to the next segment of the show, which is
Card of the day.
the card of the day, lessons from life.
Nice.
This is a power creep card.
Yep.
The last one we had like this costed 5 mana. This costs 4 mana. It costs 2 generic, a green and a blue, and you draw 3 cards. You may put land from your hand onto the battlefield tab.
Yeah, this card has a double standard.
Yep.
This card's okay, right? It's like the crap. What is it? We had it like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
It was just Simic, draw a card, put a land in your hand onto the battlefield.
Mhm.
That got banned because Omnath was going to break it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Growth spiral.
There it is. Yeah,
Growth
this is-
spiral.
So this is fixed growth spiral because this is 4 mana instead of 2. You do get a third card, but you put the land on the battlefield tapped.
Right.
Well,
But
So this is growth spiral fixed.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
some-
a card out there that costs 5 mana, 3 generic green blue, draws you 3 cards.
urban evolution.
Urban Evolution. This is a power creep on that card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Europe.
Same effect. Cost 1 less.
But there's something special about this picture.
What do you mean, Hillbilly?
What are they playing?
They're playing Magic.
Yeah.
This is the first card that's not in an unset that actually depicts Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
Yeah, this is actually the art on the card. I was going to point that out myself. No one else did. That's why I got the capture already with the big art. Look at that,
Are you saying, hold on. Are you saying this is the first card depicting something playing Magic?
the first non-unset card
Yeah.
depicting Magic the Gathering in its own game.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know.
I think
that.
I think this is awesome. They
It
do.
It is.
Awesome, then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see Jenica back there, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Her card's actually pretty sweet, by the way. I saw it this morning. Her card is in the co-op team-up game.
Right.
It'll be legal, obviously, in formats outside of standard. I don't know if it has the standard set similar, and I don't remember which symbol it has. But her card's actually pretty cool. She's an uncommon. Pretty sweet. I'm glad they put her in because her lore in the comics is actually really neat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. And with that, we got to get to the actual picture of the day. Whoa. Picture of the day is remember to have your pre-game discussion before each game of Commander.
Mhm.
Yep.
Amen.
Europe.
Yep.
It was so close. It was so close.
I know, like it's like 2 blues, right?
Yep, it's 2 blues instead of a purple.
That's right.
It was so close.
So close. Yeah, and I put a TMNT family, and this is what it gave me. So I went with it.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so good. Like this is just a reminder that when you go to play Commander, have your pregame discussions, know what brackets you're playing, know what power levels you expect, and you don't have to give every bit of information about your deck out, but it's nice to know how your game's going to play out for you and what deck you need to play.
Right.
Yeah, the best thing to know is to have that information out there because you're going to have a better game in the long run. Hiding information and sneaking stuff out there is just going to lead to feel bad.
Yeah.
I can share an example of something I just went through in casual play yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because this happened and I had to leave a Discord server over it because someone braided me, humiliated me, and dogged me on a voice call over something very petty.
Mm.
It was having to do with bracket discussion before the game, and I had scooped in a game because I specifically said in this pod that I wanted to play higher power because they wanted to play a bracket 3. I didn't have a bracket 3 that could hang because mine are a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
I have one that's fast, and that's Kuja. You don't want to play against Kuja, so I don't play Kuja. So I was like, look, I can't play. I'll try to hang, but they made it to where it was like a 3-player game, and I was sitting watching the game, and I had people hitting up my server wanting to play CDH. So I respectfully declined when I was down on mana, down on interaction, and couldn't do a dang thing but take life points.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I would respectfully like to scoop, have another game I can get to, and I left, went to my server, right? Mm-hmm. They went and said, hey, blah, blah, blah. I was in a voice call last night in the middle of the afternoon. We're waiting in a pod, waiting for a person that they said we were waiting on. This dude was a friend of mine. Comes in and says, hey, I need to speak up. He's like, you blah, blah, blah. I didn't respect you for that. You really screwed our game up. Yada, yada, yada. Start going off on me, berating me, humiliating me in front of everyone when he should have pulled me aside and talked to me in person, like man to man, everything. He was like, I don't trust you anymore. We're not friends anymore. I won't play with you anymore. All you do is ever scoop. Based off of 3 games he played in a cycle of 37 games, I scooped 3 games for specific reasons. He's like, you scoop all the time. I'm not playing with you anymore. All this. And I'm like, that's funny. I witnessed you scoop a bunch of times too. So, okay.
Wow.
Sounds like y'all just magic with each other.
I had to leave a server that was a good friend, like one of my best friends' server over it.
Wow.
Mm.
Ooh, that's rough. K Checker says the first thing SFT tells his opponents is that he has board whites and he will be playing them. That's right.
Playing all of them.
Well, it's like, have you ever seen Tibalt talk about his decks? He'll be sitting there with a sprinkler of salt as he's talking about his deck and sprinkling on his deck. It's not that bad. And he's got this pile of salt growing on his deck.
I've seen this out.
He's like, it's just flavor, I promise.
It's just spice. It's not even flavor. It's just spice. It's just enough to let you know that it's
Hey, I can enjoy a spicy meatball.
All right, with that, we got to get to the next segment of the day. Presented by Discord, we have the question of the day. All right, the question of the day was brought to you by yours truly. But if you have a question of the day you want to submit, be part of Discord. Discord is where you can find all the places to post all your content. If you want to do pictures of the day or anything like that, like card of the day, you can submit it in Discord and be a part of the show. The link is in the chat and the description. And with that, we're going to get to the question of the day. Super Fast Tortoise here with the question of the day. The question of the day is, what is one thing you wish you knew a long time ago about playing and building commander decks? Let's go. Put your comments in the comments below. Yeah. So I always tell people with the comments below, so if they're watching this after the show, they'll put in the comments below, hopefully. Yeah. But anyways, so something to think about. What is something you wish you knew a long time ago about building and playing commander?
Those two things are very different.
Yeah.
Building commander and playing commander, those are very different things. Very different answers.
Well, sometimes when playing commander, you learn that you should have put more draw in your deck. Sometimes you learn.
That's like very specific, right? Like that's very specific to that deck. I wish I would have learned to politic earlier, because the more you do it, the better your outcomes are, and the more interesting games are. Games where people just don't politic are much less interesting, because things play out in strange ways. So I wish I would have learned to politic much earlier than I did.
Wow, yeah, that's a good answer.
That's playing. For deck building, I wish I would have been more collaborative. Because here's a hot take: if you have one person who is an excellent deck builder, and you say, "Hey, go build a deck," and then you go to a group who are all excellent deck builders and say, "Hey, you guys work together and build one deck," that group is going to build a better deck 49 out of 50 times. And collaboration is so important in deck building because people see things differently. People know different cards than you do. And you will end up with more interesting, better decks collaborating with people than you will just building it on your own.
Right. Collaborating. Sure. Kate Ticker really quick says, I wish I knew that people would hate my decks, the commanders and stuff, because like I'd play and 3 players would gang up on me and take me out fast.
Well, those people should have told you beforehand. They did you a disservice by not giving you a warning.
Yeah, I wish I had a larger play group. I spent the first decade playing Commander with roughly the same 3 people, and I wish I had branched out earlier. And because that's what I did. I started going to the LGS and started seeking outside there, and I wish I hadn't cemented all of my bad habits with those other 3 players.
Right.
It's made me the player I am today, for better or worse. But I do wish that I had branched out earlier and played in larger group of pods.
I'll say this: I wish more people learned how to play Commander with those 3 people that you play with, because I've enjoyed every single game of Magic I've ever played with the ball across from me, and there are very few people I can say that about.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Nice.
Oh, are you referring to us?
No, I'm referring to when I started Commander and stuff. There were there were my friends. We all started Commander about the same time together when they first started printing the Commander decks. And for about 10 years, we played almost exclusively with each other, sometimes as few as once a month or something of that nature. But I learned, so it was a variety. I had one, God, I hope they're not listening. Anyhow, I had one chaotic deck builder. I had somebody else with deep pockets, and I had another person that had deep pockets and studied, and I mean studied, the Pro Tours, the pro players completely. Consumed every possible thing he could for pro play and so on, and had and again, it shouldn't come down to budget, but that's something else we'll talk about. Hopefully Tortoise and I will talk about that more later. And so that got in my head, and it led to some, I'm going to say, destructive play patterns or thought patterns or whatever, until I finally broke that chain. But I had a good base to learn from, all the extremes. So I had everything represented there.
Yeah.
And for a long, long time, I only played with those people. I learned what I learned as much as I learned. But I didn't learn to win. That was the thing. I didn't spend the time playing the game. I played to not let other people win. Right. That's the bad habits that I talked about that I learned, and I shouldn't have done that earlier on in my career. I should have branched out and learned more how to win the game. But where I'm setting at now, I'm happy, and I'm thrilled to have you guys to be able to play with and stuff for Spell Table or whatever. If you can't do it in person, live games are always better. But
yeah,
that's a general opinion, anyhow.
I mean, the deeper you think about it, the more prolific it gets. The more you got stuck in your meta, the less you got to learn. The more you branched out of your meta, the more you got to learn.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
And I'll say that, I know a lot of people who play Magic are far more introverted than they would prefer to be. And going to the LGS and, by yourself and talking to people who you've never met before and playing Magic is a very difficult thing. But I can't recommend it enough. Like if you have an LGS near you, or you have one that's close enough that you can get to, go find somebody who looks crazy as hell like I do, right? And just walk up and start talking to them, because odds are they're incredibly used to just random ass people coming up to them in every single second of their life and just talking to them. So you are going to be the least crazy person that they probably talk about, because you are going to talk about something they want to talk about, which is Magic.
That's an easy in for sure. Like I said,
so go to your LGS and find the craziest looking person you can. Just walk up and start talking to them, because they're used to it. They're not gonna freak out about it.
No, we don't freak out about it.
What is it?
This game, we love talking about this game. We love imparting our Magic knowledge on this game. We love this game.
Kenny Chicken says my play group knows that I'll be coming, and it becomes a challenge for who gives the final point of damage. Wow. So,
and I will also say that Tibalt's group having like that really higher power level guy who had a lot of deep pockets, iron sharpens iron, baby.
Yeah,
sure.
If you're playing against people who are better or have better decks, you have to become a better player. You have to become more creative. It will mold you a different way. That summer I spent playing with Gabe, the person I came home as a Magic player was not the person who I was at the start of that summer.
Yep.
It just wasn't. I was not the same player. I played completely different because I spent, an entire summer playing against the second best Magic player in the entire country for a summer. Right?
Oh no! Tibalt has finished his cup of coffee.
Hopefully there's enough caffeine in there. Needs more salt.
All right, what about you, Billy?
I find, collaborating too soon is too harmful sometimes. And not collaborating, but
I'm gonna interject really quick. Too much information from too many people can be distracting and disorienting, is what I'm gonna say.
Fair.
That's a good idea.
And it can take you down it could take you down tangents you don't want to be down, or can
Yep.
give you the misleading information, or yeah, definitely.
It might even be the
That's
correct
great advice,
information,
man.
but at the wrong time.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Ray's right, 100%. I have friendships. Yeah, the
Dude.
wildest of friendships.
I remember back in the day when I was more outroverted or whatever the word is, extroverted.
Extroverted.
Yeah, I know I'd be looking at a Magic product at Walmart, and some dude would come up and look at products, and somehow we ended up in like a 1 hour conversation.
1 hour conversation.
Still happens easy. Yeah.
That's
Still happens.
crazy,
Same.
right?
Same.
Same.
How about you, Lone Wolf? Do you have any answer to the question?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have answers. I just don't know if they're good answers, to be honest.
Well, every answer is a good answer because it helps someone.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
right.
If it in regards when it comes to like what I wish I knew about before, if you would repeat the question for me,
So
please.
what is something you learned you wish you knew a long time ago about building commander decks and or playing commander games?
Oh, I wish that's a tough one. Honestly, I wished I would have never gotten into Commander, and it's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, especially lately, it seems like the power level is just getting worse and worse, and it's harder to keep up.
Mhm.
And I'm saying that even with having okay decks, it's just it's hard to keep up with that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I also wished I took the time more before I got into Commander to study Commander and deck building before I got into it, so I could have had some experience of deck building before I'm just gonna hop right in there with precons and call it good.
Right. Yeah, because precons are kind of deceptive. You think they're good enough to play against every game because they're pre-built, but you find out there's a lot of upgrading and a lot of knowledge you got to learn.
Yeah.
And you go to take a deck from scratch, and you're gonna struggle probably 1,000 times before you get it to be playable.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So one thing I wish I knew about playing and building Magic is, well, I wish I knew a long time ago because it took me till I started making YouTube content to understand it. Because I used to build decks and play, and not all my decks would perform well, and my best decks were really good decks. For the time, like today, they probably wouldn't stand up very much. But what I started doing when I started making YouTube content is I started looking at my best decks and I'd tear them apart, break them apart by removal, draw, ramp, board wipes, and so on and so forth. How I came up with the scope, and I started looking at that and comparing it to my other decks and seeing where they felt weak. So I wish I understood a long time ago. I wish I understood how commander decks worked better, so I could have just, instead of like buying all those 50-cent cards all the time and playtesting all the time, I wish I would have been more focused and saved more money in the long run by buying the cards I knew that would help me.
Yep.
I think the best advice that you can give somebody who is building a commander deck, regardless of what level they're at, if you're a new player or you're an experienced player, is don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Right. You got to make mistakes.
You're going to make mistakes in deck building. It's going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm working on a deck right now, and it's currently on its 6th iteration.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like when I'm building decks, I literally will put the name of the commander, what I'm trying to do with it, so if it's ramp or stompy or lands matter or whatever, and then a version number. And every time I make a substantial change, and that's to me a substantial change is 2 cards or more. If I swap out a single card, I'm not. It's not unless it's a major change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless that card is defining what my deck is doing for some reason. I put a new version number on it, and I'm currently on version 6 of this deck that I'm working on currently, and that means I made multiple mistakes beforehand, but I'm getting to where I want it to be. So. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because you're going to, right? And if you're, it's like that old saying, if you walk through your house and you're afraid that you're going to stub your toe every time you walk by this one table, you're going to stub your damn toe every time you walk by that table. Right?
Very true.
So if you're afraid to make mistakes, you're going to make more mistakes. So don't be afraid to make them. Just try to identify them as quickly as you can and forget about it and move on. Go to the next version.
There are learning opportunities. If you learn from the mistake,
100%.
it was worth making for sure. I got two things to say, and they are, and I forgot them that quick. No, small sample size, and that's one of the first things to think about is small sample size. The other thing is bad matchups. Sometimes there are just bad matchups, and they're
100%.
never going to go well.
Nope.
Oh yeah, I got a perfect example of that. During the time when we played Standard at my house, my wife and I would play test decks. Her deck was all combat damage based, and my deck was all Turbo Fog. Guess who got the win all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if Tortoise were to sit down at a table that had Elish Norn, Mother of the Machines, as its commander with Hearthroll, he'd never win a game.
Yeah.
Because he would never get a landfall trigger. And they're
that's
playing,
right.
and if they're playing a deck at the appropriate bracket 3, they're going to have more ways to protect their commander than he is to get rid of it.
right.
And that's just a bad matchup that he's not going to win, and that sucks, right? So if you sit down and you have enough game knowledge to know, hey, this was a bad matchup, don't make sweeping changes to your
Yes,
deck
exactly. Don't make
because
sweeping
you ran
changes.
into the one deck type out of the 400 or something that exist in Commander, the different themes.
Right.
Don't make sweeping changes to your deck because you ran into the one that just shuts you down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like not every deck is going to be compatible with another deck when it comes to playability.
Right. 100%.
That makes sense.
And Tibalt's 100% correct on that.
Yeah, I'm making some mistakes lately, and I'm the type of person that can admit my mistakes. Deck building, I'm really, really, really good at. But one thing I definitely realize with some mistakes I make with deck building is sometimes I forget about. I put placeholder cards in. The cards that are the cards that coming out because it's one power level. I'm trying to make it another power level, and then I forgot. I got cards slotted to go out already, and I can put the cards in. But sometimes Rhino forgets. And right now, presently, I'm working on VV into CDH, and I got remember how I told you it's Stormburn Mill? Well, it's Stormburn Mill because it's a Fringe 4 right now. The fast mana package and the cards I got on trade, right? The different combos that I got for it, boom, instantly it's a 5 with the deck list. But it's not there to what? The cards are in the deck. And it's play tested and go fished. And luckily, with the list the way it is now, it runs at a 5. It's getting turn 3, turn 4 wins.
That's good.
Go off a turn 2.
Like last night I was watching a video from EDH Rec about how this guy accidentally improved his deck when he was trying to downgrade his deck.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I've done that before.
Like I've been improving it with taking out the cards you suggested, right? Like the flames, the enraged flame caster, and a few of the other ones you do. I took them out, took the midnight clock out. What else?
And here's something, like Tibalt also made another good point that I feel needs to be echoed, and this is his point, that even if you sit down at a table and you don't play a deck that just straight counteracts yours, don't overreact to a single game.
Yeah.
The only time that I walk away from a single game and I think, okay, I've got to make a change, is if I put a card or a package of cards into my deck for a very specific scenario. That scenario came up and it didn't work, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if that happened, then I will take that one game of data and be like, okay, I literally put this in here for this exact reason. It did not work the way it should have or the way I thought it would. I need to make a change.
Yeah.
And that's hard for people who only get to play like 1 or 2 games. If you're playing a game a week, you want to make changes, right? You're like, oh man, the deck didn't really work. I want to make a change before I play the next game. That way it can get better. But you run the risk of making too many changes, and then you don't know where the actual problem lies. I used to fix computers for a living, and my motto was always one thing at a time. Don't change multiple things, because if you fix it, you don't know what actually was the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
You're absolutely right on that, because it's hard to pinpoint where.
Yeah. So if you're only getting to play, if you're only going to your LGS and playing FNM, and you have a deck that you're working on, and you play it and it doesn't work, I beg of you, give it another shot, see how it plays, and then make some changes, because one game is just not a good sample size to be making changes. Again, unless you put it for very specific reasons, those reasons came up and then it didn't work.
Mhm.
Then make changes, right?
Yeah.
Really quick, Coach's Magic.
What? Oh my god!
He says, "You sound like you're talking to my. It sounds like me talking to my first and second grade basketball team." He says, "Don't worry about making mistakes. A mistake means you're trying." That's
Absolutely,
For sure.
100%, 100%.
And going back to what Lone Wolf said and stuff, at least in my case, a lot of negative things led to positive changes for me. A lot of the ways that I was feeling about specific things, and we don't need to get into all of those or whatever, but I felt there was a point where I was like, I was ready to quit because I didn't like Commander and it wasn't fun and so on. But I changed my mindset a little bit, and I went on a journey that I'm still on, and a lot of positive things came for that, but it was up to me to change a couple of things, or the way I looked at things, or the way I interacted with things. And most importantly was talking to other people and getting other people's input, because even if you're the best deck builder out there and stuff, you don't, I'm going to say, and I feel confident saying it, you don't know all the cards.
No,
And you never know when somebody else is going to suggest that one card that's going to make all the difference for you. There's no magic bullets, okay, but there are some cards out there that maybe could exponentially increase your deck, and you're not going to get that unless you seek them out, or unless you talk to somebody else and somebody else suggested something, because they look at it from a different way than you did.
Right.
And rarely are those cards the cards that people expect, right?
Yes.
Like we talked about it yesterday about Ristic Study. You know, this card that everybody talks about, this is the big boogeyman of Commander right now. And of the 7 decks I own that have blue in them, I have it in 1 deck. And if they were to say tomorrow you could put an unlimited number of game changers in your deck, I'd probably put it in maybe 1 more deck, maybe, right? Because not every great card fits in every deck, right?
Yeah.
A card is only great if it has the supporting, the supporting cast around it, right? Like Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player of all time, couldn't win a championship until he got Pippen. Right? Like that's a true story. Michael Jordan never won a title until he got Pippen. And it was because he had the group around him, he had the package at that point, right? And it wasn't just Pippen. He had there are 5 Hall of Famers on that first Bulls championship team. But like Ristic Study alone itself is not this be-all end-all card, just like Michael Jordan wasn't the be-all end-all player. You need the stuff around it. And sometimes putting 7 more cards in your deck, it just isn't worth it.
Coach's Magic said, "My best advice for when building a deck is pick a theme or strategy and stick to it," which I try to do.
Yeah.
So, but like, you know what I miss back in the day, and it's not a 90s reference like Rayman's was.
80s.
90s, 80s, 90s.
70s.
Jordan broke into the NBA in the 80s.
No, but he started winning in the 90s. So I remember.
I think his first title was 91.
Yeah,
probably.
So, but anyways, it was like, one thing I miss about in-store play when you had groups that hang out at the local game store, because we play a game of Commander and you play a couple games and your deck just wasn't performing. That was the time you'd be able to hand over your deck to a friend that was there, like that you played with, and be like, "Hey, what's some advice you can give me?" So reaching out and asking other people for advice is really good, because I understand. Because like when I started building a cube and I started looking up for content on cube design and stuff like that, you're not going to understand everything at once. You got to start working on the cube and start playing the cube. But like with the same thing as with the Commander deck, you got to start working on deck and play the deck to understand it. But until you can actually, and here's how I'm going to say it, until you can actually describe what you want your deck to do and how you want it to function, you won't understand the path that you're trying to get to. And that's when we start breaking decks into it. And that's why we started talking about decks, because like back in the day, I used to build decks based on the theme. But like I had a Rafika the mini deck a long time ago that was so off theme from what I wanted it. was a powerful deck, but it's off theme, and it just played a generic game of Commander where the commander didn't really matter. That bothered me until I started realizing, asking friends for advice about like how do you build a Voltron deck, right? What's a good way to build a Voltron? Can I really put my faith in just cheap enchantments and artifacts? And they're like, yes, you can, because the power level, because they explained the power level of the commander makes the deck in a Voltron deck. And that's what you're working on most of the time. And I'd hand them my deck, and they had to be like, what cards do I take out? Because, we fall in love with our cards. We fall in love with our cards, right? There's a time in this deck I had a Zeus and Lost Seeking deck, and I didn't want to take it out. But they're like, dude, it's not even helping your deck at all. You can just take it out. But I'm like, it's like a $9 card. But this, they're like, this 50-cent card or this 25-cent card is so much better for you. So you got to be willing to accept the advice as well.
Never fall in love with a card. Always just fall in like.
That's right.
Because, like, if you are building your deck and you are wanting to constantly upgrade it and make it better, then sooner or later, every card in it, right, it has to be cuttable.
Yeah.
And if you fall in love with a card, you get stuck with things that just don't do anything.
Right.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right?
Right.
But if you're actively trying to increase, like make your deck better, then that is setting you back. So
Right.
never fall in love with a card. Just fall in like with it.
Right. And another piece of advice I want to offer people is do not put your heart onto staples, right? You know how people say there's staple cards in Magic the Gathering? Not every staple card is good for your deck. Like
exactly.
Like for the fact that my Rafika the mini deck does not run a Soul Ring, Soul Ring actually slows the deck down. You got to be aware of things you can keep out. Ristic Study would not be good in that particular deck. I have a deck that I want a Ristic Study for, but that's just because it's on theme for the enchantment themes. But Ristic Study wouldn't work in my Rafika the mini deck because it is also too slow of a card. By turn 3, I want to be playing an aura or make sure I have a creature on the battlefield, not having this excess card draw because the card draw is already built into the deck. So my point that I'm getting to is do not trust staples to direct your deck. Direct your deck in the way it feels like it has to go and learn from that.
Another way I'm going to staple onto what you just said is don't play staples just because you should. Make sure they fit your style. Because there are certain cards, I talked about this on one of my recent videos about the fact that Torment of Hailfire, what a great finisher it is. It's an awesome, awesome card. I don't play it just because it generally, I don't have enough of them, but it doesn't fit. I'm okay. I'm Tibalts Apprentice. I'm okay being mean, but I don't want to be that mean. You know what I mean? It just doesn't fit my style. So playing it just for the reason, you got to keep in mind, again, that we're supposed to be playing this for fun.
Right. Not
just our fun, but the fun of other people. And again, I'm not trying to be fun police or whatever, but I do take that into consideration about what's going to be. Usually when I play salty plays, it's because it's funny and everybody's going to get a laugh out of it. At least I hope that's the case. Right. Sometimes I just tick people off, and that's okay too. But, generally speaking, it's that fun last shot where you're sure that you've got me dead, and then it's like, oh, you missed me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Coach's Magic says synergy is greater than a staple. That's true.
Yeah. And there are times where staples like fit your deck, right? But there's times again where they don't, and don't feel like you have to put them in just because it's, everybody expects it to be there. Put it in there because it fits.
Well, hold on, Tibalt. Can you explain to the people what a staple card is?
A staple card is one that you find in every deck. If somebody looks at your commander and they can name 15 cards that are in that deck, those are staples. Those are decks you always are going to find in there.
All right. I wanted someone to explain that because someone's watching and they're like, what's a staple card? Do I actually
That's where to describe a staple card. They're the top most used cards found in an average of decks.
Hence why we get the sleeper cards that people don't know about, because they get so focused on the staples, they don't think about examining and exploring different sets and what cards might be there.
Yeah.
You know, because like
I think we got blue staples, red staples, black staples, white staples, and everybody's like,
Now I will say this, right? Those cards are staples for a reason.
For a reason, for sure. Yeah.
Right. If you are going to be very hard pressed if you are playing a Voltron deck to find a better card for your deck than Stoneforge Mystic.
right.
It's a body, which is always nice because you always want an early blocker.
Mhm.
It's a tutor.
That's right.
And then if someone doesn't kill it, when you untap, you are going to take that thing that you just got and you're going to equip it onto something, right? That is a perfect staple, example of a staple for a Voltron deck.
Right.
Now, that's not to say that every Voltron deck runs Stoneforge Mystic, but every deck that doesn't run Stoneforge Mystic will be better if they did.
Right. So one thing I wanted to bring up on that case is when you're building a deck and learning synergy, like mistakes we've made, right? We've made a lot of mistakes is learning that, especially you learn more when you start looking at game changers, right? You start looking at game changers, which is basically a list of staple cards. But you learn that in particular decks that you build, some cards work like game changers in your deck that are not on the game changers list. So you're going to learn what staples are for your deck because your deck's unique to what you want. You know,
some cards are on the game changers list for reasons I legitimately do not understand.
Right, but a lot of people look at it as a staple.
Yeah.
They're like, these must be good cards because they're on the game changers list. You know.
Yeah, that's something else. Like, I think people do see it that way, but they shouldn't.
Right.
I think that we as a community should try and change that.
Right.
Because the game changers list is a good attempt, but boy, is it all over the place, right?
all over.
You have some cards on there that should not be on there.
Mm-hmm.
Crop rotation. Crop rotation in and of itself is a very middling card. Crop rotation needs something that's worth going and getting. And almost every single card that you'd want to go get is also on the damn game changers list.
That's right.
Right? But then there's cards like Candelabra of Tawnos.
Right.
For those people who don't know what Candelabra of Tawnos says, it's a very old card, but it says tap X mana and then tap it, and then you get to untap however many X's that you paid in lands.
Right.
So if you pay 5 and tap it, you get to go untap 5 lands.
Yeah.
That card is bonkers in any deck that runs a land that can make extra mana, right? If you can net extra mana off of it. So Mono Black can use it because it has Cabal Coffers and the 5 other cards that are not Cabal Coffers but are Cabal Coffers. Green can do it because Green just has tons of cards like Gaia's Cradle.
Right.
So
Even a few
are you telling
rocks
me
will
that
make
that
it.
card shouldn't be a game changer? Of course it should be, but it isn't.
Right. Coach's Magic says playing on a theme deck gets more a few oohs and ahs during the game. That can be more satisfying than winning the game to get more oohs and ahs out of your themes and synergies. And you got to play around with it because, like for example, in some of my decks, Cultivate is not a good card. Cultivate's almost in every commander deck that runs green.
Yep.
Cultivate's not always a good card.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to just run Rapid Growth instead. Sometimes, So learn your deck, learn what you want. Learn what you want to do to be better for your deck. Because like some decks have a personality to them, and a lot of my decks have a personality. They play different. They have different play styles. So every time I pick up a deck, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to play this deck. I got to put my mindset that this deck is going to run a certain way compared to say Hearthal. Like my enchantments deck is going to run different than Hearthal. My Voltron deck is going to run different than Hearthal. My dinosaur decks are going to run different than Hearthal, and they're going to play different against each other. So, the more you play, the more decks you build, the different play styles you learn, the more you learn that cards work different in different decks. Now, there are some cards that are good in their colors. Like one of my favorite cards that's a game changer in one of my particular decks is was it Communa Dawn or something like that? I can't remember. It costs 2 green and a white, or 2 white and a green, and you tutor for 3 creatures and put them on top of your library.
Right.
Yeah, one of my decks. It's a game changer because if I cast Atali, Primal Conqueror, before he enters the battlefield, I instantly cast his tutor and stack my deck. So good.
Nice. Another trap I think that people fall into if they just look at the game changers list is they may put in cards that they aren't familiar enough with why they're on the game changers, and so they don't necessarily know the rules interactions that make them a card worth playing. So don't just stick things in again also just because, I heard this is a good card, this is a staple card or whatever. If you're not familiar with the rules that make it good, don't put them in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, try to understand the rules, because there are some people who play Infect and don't realize the life loss issue of it, right? Because some people play Infect and they think creatures with Infect deal damage and give poison counters. Well, it just gives poison counters.
Yeah.
Reading the card explains the card.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Everybody plays a fool.
It's about, I would say, 99% of Magic cards. Now some older cards, they've been eroded, like Candelabra of Tawnos we just talked about. It doesn't, if you have an original printing like I do, it doesn't have tap, right? It doesn't have to, you don't have to tap the Candelabra because that was not how it was originally printed.
Yeah.
It was one of the few cards that they actually full-blown eroded. Right. The original printing just says tap X, untap X lands. But then they're like, maybe this is a bad idea. So now you have to tap it too. And they did print one version of it that has the tap symbol. But for 99% of Magic cards, simply reading the card will explain the card.
Right. Reading the card explains the card. Sorry, I was looking for a Candelabra. I have a creature version of Candelabra somewhere.
It's the
Magus of the Candelabra.
Magus of the Candelabra, yeah.
Magus, yeah.
Yeah, he's a green and 1 for a Candelabra of Tawnos.
I can't believe you knew that.
Nerd alert!
There you go.
Nerd alert!
I had both it and the actual Candelabra in a deck not that long ago. That's the only reason I remember it.
Nice.
All right.
The Magus of Candelabra.
Coach is just mean.
Codas is
in your Codas deck?
Yeah.
Codas is mean.
I'm looking at Coach's comment down there.
It's Coach's comment.
You play Enchanted Evening and Tranquility? Oh, I don't have Tranquility, but I do have Enchanted Evening. Thanks to a specific cane shaker out there. But with that, my friends, it's that time of day. But this time we're going to do something a little different because we missed it.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise. This is a free show on YouTube. It is completely volunteer-based. This program is made possible by viewers like you, and share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And also by contributions made to your Super Fast Tortoise channel and from viewers like you. You all rock. You are awesome.
You're crazy!
You are watching Super Fast Tortoise. Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take, so it's lit. MTG3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise, building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. MTG3 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
Ooh, everybody!
Yeah, what's the topic of the day we're going to talk about today?
Right. We made a commander, which we actually
aren't we going to start the show now?
That's right. right. Start the show like an hour into the show. My friends, it's time we get to the thrill section of the video where we start telling you where you can find us, follow us, and give us all the love by hitting that like button on our videos and commenting on our videos, because we appreciate it when you do that. We are growing. We're all trying to be successful in what we do, and we're having a great time hanging out, being cool. Kill! That's right. With that, we're going to start with the Lone Wolf.
Thanks, everybody. An awesome stream. just help support everybody here, like the stream, and that's all that I gotta say. Just help support everybody.
Woo.
Thanks, Lone Wolf.
Well, then with that, we're gonna go over to Rhinoblitz.
Hey, party people. Hey, you can reach me and find me on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter at The Real Rhinoblitz. Come give us a follow, hit the bell, give us a like and subscribe, and join the crash and run with us.
Join the crash. Hell yeah. So if his link doesn't pop up in chat, it is definitely in the description below. So hit that link, hit that subscribe button. With that, we're going to roll over to the devious, the saltometer. Tibalts.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm looking forward to it starting anytime soon now. Anyhow, thanks for having me on. You can find everything Tibalts Apprentice at darkritual.site. Going to be making some changes there, some kind of large changes coming up, but I won't talk about those yet. Thanks for having me. It's been great talking to you guys. And the best thing you can do to get better at Commander is talk to more people and consume more content from everybody.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, everybody. With that, we're going to roll over to the TheoneRAYman.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. I am once again here at Mr. B's Game Lounge. You can come check us out. We're on Mr. B's Game Lounge on YouTube. We're in person. If you are in our area, come by. We have Commander tonight. We have F&M tomorrow night. We have Commander on Saturday, along with karaoke. We have Commander on Sunday. And then next week, we'll be doing a box opening for Turtles. We'll be doing a Commander game for Turtles. And then we'll be doing our pre-release on Friday. So we have a ton of magic going on constantly with basketball season almost over, high school basketball season almost over. Hopefully the stream games will be picked back up. It will get back weekly. The plan, like I said, the plan is to do the Turtle Precon next week. So just got a lot of magic going on. And I guess I'm on a 23-hour break. See you guys mañana.
Yeah, whoa. Yeah, thanks for being a good person, racist coach. Yeah, with that, we're going to roll to the less good person, the most evil person, the most devious person, the hillbilly.
Oh, is he muted?
His mic's on.
You're muted. He's scratching his head like, what's going on? So, while he's trying to figure that out, early access, February 25th, 12 p.m. to 12 p.m. 26 Central Standard Time. He's going to be playing the early access Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Early access!
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There he is.
Yeah, I'll be doing this on Wednesday, the 25th. Will not be a stream that morning, but I will be here. And then right after here, we're going to jump straight into this early access. So it'll be Wednesday. And this afternoon, I plan on playing some more Arena.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to help you out there by reading off the card.
I don't know how I muted it.
Great thumbnail, by the way. Kudos to the person who designed it.
Yeah, whoever designed it, they really didn't do a good job. I got to see.
Tibalt, you did a masterful job on this.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm here to help anybody. Just let me know.
Now, Tortoise made this.
I know.
It's a very good thumbnail. And I do appreciate it, Tortoise.
I found two pictures on Google, and I'm like, those would be excellent together.
Yep.
All right.
They are.
With that, this is Super Fast Tortoise. We're going to try to throw a Commander game or something on tonight. Probably try to do a bracket 2 game so Hillbilly can play with his deck. Ooh, like his particular deck.
Recon.
So, yeah, we're going to have a blast tonight, but keep an eye out on that. If anything changes, we'll let you know. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, right? Become a member of the channel because you're always supporting the best ways possible. Just being a subscriber is the best way possible. Hitting that like button, commenting, everything you do is amazing. I want to thank you all. But with that, I want to remind you that you are loved, right? Someone's thinking about you. And if you can, say and or do something positive for someone else today, because sharing that love, that momentum can make someone's day more positive. You could be a change in their life today. With that, I want to thank everybody for being here. That's right. I want to thank HILLBILLY, Lone Wolf, Rhinoblitz, and Mad Saxon Tibalts for being here. Everybody in chat, thank you for being here. You made the show awesome.
Nope.
With all that information I do, let's get out of here. I want to thank you, channel members of the channel, for supporting this creep the way you do. You are awesome. And you subscribers, everybody that subscribes, you're doing amazing too. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the